Hello, good evening. I'm actually really looking forward to tonight's training. After listening to Lawrence on the business builder training yesterday, I it just really hit home to the powerful message that he shared with us. And I think we should I don't know if all of you had a chance to listen to it. If not, we're going to listen to it again. Or if you have, we're going to listen to it again. I've listened to it a few times and it's quite powerful. And some of the messages, I think will just give us an idea and a clearer picture on what we could be doing to make sure that we're retaining our customers. So here's our lovely Lawrence Clark.
And thank you for each one of you that's taking your time, investing it to listen to this talk. I was listening to Eric Worre this morning, interviewing somebody who was on disability. He'd been a butcher that had to finally quit because of a bad back, and so he was on disability. And his first 5 years in network marketing, he made zeros. What Alan shared made me think of it, how many people quit. In his first 5 years, he made zero. Between 74 and 86 years old, he averaged more per month than 90% plus of wisdom builders and the population is making in a year. He made a month. I won't even tell you the figure. It would just blow your mind, how much he was making. And so don't run out and just recruit old people after hearing that. Old people are important. But I like to reach people as young as I can so they can benefit from the residual income. But that was just great listening to that this morning of persevering. And we work hard to get a customer, and that customer is so important. And we know that for people to get the full benefit of these products, they have to continue to be on them. And we can't control that completely, but we have a lot more control than we realize. And they teach you in business that you should retain the customer is a better focus than just going out and getting new customers. You need to treat those customers as valuable. But it's so easy. I've compared it to before. It's like this business can be like pushing a car up a hill. So many people, they sign up somebody and they're not yet at the top of the hill, but they just relax and that car just sort of runs over them and they get discouraged because that customer stops their monthly reorder. And what can we do to increase our percentages of not losing those people, of helping them? And again, this business, I like to use the illustration, like Jesus did, of farming, agriculture. And this business is like gardening. There's a lot of different steps to having a successful garden, right? You got to, the easiest and maybe funnest part is planting it and picking those seeds and your mouth watering, thinking of eating those vegetables and fruits that you're growing. And it's great to sit there and make goals and everything. But, if you don't get out there and plow that up and plant those seeds, you're never going to experience those goals and dreams and that mouth-watering taste. And so, and that's prospecting. That's finding the right people and getting those customers. But after that, if you've ever gardened, if you don't go out there and water that thing and pull those weeds, you're probably not going to be enjoying all that hard work that you did in plowing. And that's what I want to talk about and focus about right now. And so when you get a customer, those first 90 days can set them in concrete if you do your part. And what's your part? And this can be the funnest part if you choose it to be, and you think of it the right way. I love Marjorie, and she grew our kids up on that statement. Some people's work is another person's play. You can always choose to have a good attitude about every part of gardening and every part of this business. And so once you get a new customer, why not, 3 days later or a week later, when you think they've for sure gotten the product and had a couple of days on the product, give them a call just to make sure they got their product and to see if they're taking it. And I love that statement to say to people, I didn't just want you to buy a product. I want you to get the benefits this product can give you, but you've got to be taking it every day to get those benefits. Because my goal is to keep you around as long as I can. And so these products can help you to do that. But you got to take them. Have you been taking them regularly? Say, now be honest with me, come on. Just sort of laugh, chuckle, and then let them answer. Did they get the products? Are they taking them? And I like to say, I know it's hard creating a new habit, even of taking products. Life is so busy. And so is it okay if I call you up, if they haven't taken them, or even if they have, say, is it okay if I call you up in a week just to make sure you're getting in that habit? And usually they're going to say yes. And think how they feel. How many people have ever gotten a call from somebody that sold them something? Very few. And so you're just setting yourself out to be a star to them and somebody that cares about them. And remember, people, don't care what you know until they know that you care about them. You just show something to them that will not just help them to stay a customer. You just showed them they're important. And we all know how many people battle depression, battle feeling insecure. Are they important? Do their lives matter? And you're saying a lot to them because, again, nobody's doing this in other businesses normally. And so why not call them and make their day and show them the difference in you, that you really care about them, not just making a sale. And so if you call back in a week, and keep your call short, unless, you feel led to maybe find out, how their day is going and how they're doing, some particulars about them, so again, people don't mind talking about themselves, but just make sure you're not doing a lot of talking and keeping them on the line. Because believe me, if you do that, they're not going to be picking up the phone when they see your name coming across that, if your calls to them take any time. And again, you can just leave a message if you miss them, saying, I'll give you a call next week to see if you're taking them. Or, you can text me that you are, but keep doing it till you see them doing it regularly. And then after you've caught them and they're taking it regularly, you don't need to keep calling them back every week. But you should, before the next end of the month, call them up and see how they're doing. Do they have enough product to make it till they get their order coming in? Why do I want to say that? I just want to make sure that you've got enough product to get you to when your auto ship's coming in. I do that enough time ahead of time so that they don't cancel it, because some people have the hardest time getting in a habit, especially I think in taking the protein drink, because they're used to eating a certain way. They've had a habit of what most people eat for breakfast, whether that's going to the coffee shop and getting a donut or whatever it is. They've got a habit. And so to switch how they're eating is hard. And so I call them up to see if they've got enough and to say, how much do you have left? And if I hear them having very much left, then I want to say to them, I've got to change their mentality, because most people, when they start getting a little extra product, they think they need to cancel, and so nobody does that if they get extra money, but they do if they get extra product. They might need to cancel. So let's say they tell me, I've got half a box of Pro Vitality and I've almost got 2 cans worth of not quite of protein. And I say, great, that's good that you have some extra for 2 reasons. Number one, we've all gone to the store in these last 2 years and seen times that there wasn't some of the food that we wanted to get at the store. So it's great. And say some people would be wise to store up 3 months and more, longer of that protein drink. You got to realize, where can you go get a can like that that has 14 complete meals in it? Healthy too, in case sometimes you do run out of a certain food. And so, and the Pro Vitality, it's great having extra in case something's going around, that you want to add some extra so you don't catch it, or you did catch it and you want to get over it as quick as you can. So it's great that you got some extra. I'm really glad. So, but try to listen to them. So just be positive, but try to listen to them in case you can see they're discouraged having the extra. If you catch that, then here's a couple of suggestions, past what I just said. You could say to them, hey, why don't you I think it's best to sell the breakfast pack and Elevate if you can, to start somebody out. But, I might say to them, usually people won't have any Elevate left over, but they do the other two sometimes. But let's say they do, and you can see they're discouraged about that, thinking of canceling. You can say, hey, look, okay, just keep the Pro Vitality coming. And because you don't want to store protein, I'm hearing you say, and just put on 1 can of protein. Add that to your auto ship for this next month so you can get in the habit. And here's another thing. Say to them, hey, there's some, you can make desserts with those things and freeze them, that chocolate protein, mix some banana with it, make it thick, freeze it. That's like, it's like a popsicle, ice cream, or what is that fancy dessert, chocolate dessert, mousse, whatever it's called. And so you can tell them, and we've got some desserts written in the in Neolite for the protein drinks that they can make it. Everybody likes as many desserts as they can have, right? Let's just be honest. They might not have a load of vegetables, but a lot of people will take all the desserts you'll give them. And so that's another suggestion to them. And so if you'll just, for the first 3 months, again, right before time, enough time before the month that they wouldn't have canceled, and just check up on them to see how they're doing and everything, it shows you care. And then after that, I would do it, whatever your relationship is with them. If you don't have a deep relationship with them, then once a year to tell them about the new product and just to see how they're doing. At least once a year, you want to call those customers, because we have new products coming out. So you can upsell them, tell them about videos. Now, again, I think it's good to be contacting those people in between time with information. But that's the least I think you'd be wise to do. And then you can always, like when you're calling up every year, ask them, say, hey, do you know anybody else you want to live a long time in your life? I know, besides your mother-in-law, is there anybody else? I like to add a little humor to it, as long as my mother-in-law is not on the line. But that's a way to sometimes get some business. And if they can see that you're checking up on them, do you feel like they could entrust you? And when you ask them, do you know anybody that you want to live longer? Well, that sounds terrible if they say no, right? So that's a way to get some referrals out of people. And when you're calling them up and say, I'll treat them just like you, I'll call them and give them a 3-minute video or the 7-minute video of what to look for in supplements, the 6 criteria. And, if they're interested, great. If they're not, then I'll tell them I appreciate them. But they'll know that you care about them, because when I contact them, I'm going to tell them I asked if they knew anybody that they wanted to live longer, and they mentioned you. And I might laugh with them too and say, now they didn't mention their mother-in-law, but they did mention you. So anyway, so if you'll do that, you will really retain. The difference in retaining will be tremendous difference if you'll handle it like that, and how many referrals you'll get from people. And if you put them on that list to call them every year and you've told them about the business, timing is everything for people. And you never know when they're going to have a job. And if some MLM person calls them, I've had customers that have gone to do other MLMs because I didn't keep up with them. and somebody came to them with a fresh business in their mind and talked to them about the business. And so if you're calling again, I would be asking at least that once a year, how's your job going? How are things going? Is it giving you all the money still that you need and everything? So, well, I'd rather quit on time than go into any more. So I hope this information, I know a lot of us maybe know this, but it's what we know and what we do are two different things sometimes. And we definitely need to teach our new people because they can get so discouraged if they get a customer and they lose them. And the last thing I'll say about this is I know a big MLMer making $1 million a year, and he told me he got his biggest leg going down 4 levels, helping somebody, a little old lady, lose weight, helping them to know how to use the product to lose weight. And that led her to referring somebody to him that became his biggest leg. And so again, you treating people, and remember, your downlines people are your people. And sometimes your best people are going to come 7 levels down. And you'll never know that if you don't think deep and don't think about caring about those people, realizing if this is a passion for you, it might not be a passion for those first 6 levels. They might not be interested in doing the business. All they care about is telling a few people just because they care about them, but they don't want to do the business. And those people aren't going to turn somebody on to the business like you can.
Well, I found that a very, very powerful message. And it kind of reminded me of my situation. I don't know if you guys know, but my direct upline, Flo and Robin, they're no longer in the business. Their upline, Gord, is no longer in the business. Alan and Elise, they've passed. And their upline, I think they're still alive out in, but her brother's alive out in out west. And there's a couple of people under Jim. So, right, you just never know in your downline who is going to grow a business. And I remember Al and so 3 levels up calling me regularly to follow up with me. Okay, because I was kind of skeptical about the business. But man, those phone calls back then, there's no texting, there was no emails, there's no internet. It was the phone calls, and he always followed up with me. So following up is so important with your customers, and dripping on them on a regular basis. And now I really feel that keeping them on a regular weekly email or weekly invite, as long as you have their permission. Like I have a group email for my members, I have a group email for my promoters, and I ask them, hey, are you okay if I send you our daily talks? We do talks Tuesday nights where it's a basic introduction, and Thursday is a specific topic. You know, if you don't come on, don't worry. I totally understand, but there might be a week where there's a topic that you're interested, or you've thought of somebody that you'd like to refer the call. So they're getting weekly emails from me on a regular basis. Okay. Anyways, any thoughts on Lawrence's message? Anything that kind of stood out, or maybe an experience that you've had where you thought, oh, if only? Yes, Leonie.
One thing that really stood out to me is this, because when Lawrence was talking about someone who's had too much left over, so to speak, because they've not been taking it regularly. Today I lost one. The other day I lost another. And I didn't really know what else to say other than, I did say though, there's stuff going around and perhaps you can double up and all that. But I wasn't too strong in that. What he said was that, plus he said about the recipes. And so that's another thing to think about, because I never thought of that dessert thing, so that's a good point, right? And I do follow up with them and all that. And he says, but I think, yes, it's important obviously to follow up, and it's just he's given he's just impounded again the fact that you can have really strong people, even they're 2, 3, 4 levels, 7 levels down. So I think it's important, but I like the way he phrased it, and I like the one when he said, do you know anyone wants to live, that you want to live longer, something like that, something to that effect. That's kind of neat, right? It's yeah, it's good. So I think that was important.
Anybody else? Gina, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a client and I was working with him in January. He became a member, but he had a lot of things going on with him. So he's just taking the Pro Vitality, so he started with that, and then we sort of lost touch. I mean, I was trying to keep in touch with him. My brother is the one who introduced me to him. So we talked on the phone, but anyways, he has tinnitus, and when he went away in March, Cindy came on and you were sharing that whole thing about a tinnitus story. So I was so glad to get that. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait till Alan gets back so I could share it with him, right? And he finally got back, and he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get in touch with you, but I really, really want to, I want to get rid of this tinnitus. I thought going away might heal and get away from this country, going back home. He's from Chile. He thought maybe it might relax him a bit, but he has a lot of health conditions going on. So I called Cindy up, and Cindy was great and willing to talk to him too. And, I think sometimes it does really help when you have another person talking about the experience one-on-one, and I was just witnessing it too at the same time, right? So for me, hearing Cindy share the story with Alan, and he was so involved and eager and wanting to know what did she do, because he's desperately wanting something to help, right, for his tinnitus. And Cindy shared so many stories too, not just herself, and he had questions. And Cindy, thank you so much for being there for him, because he was really I think sometimes it helps when somebody hears it directly from somebody what they've been going through, and it's like, has it helped you? What did you do? Like, and I've been doing this, I've been doing that, like so I think Cindy did a great job explaining that to him too. And so he's going to order more stuff, and I think he just wanted to know what exactly did you take, because we have so many products too.
You use that 3-way chat, right?
Yeah.
And that's really helpful, even when you're doing a follow-up, which I think is great, because especially with you being very new.
Yeah.
Like,
it was good to hear too, right? I mean, I know, and Joan talks too with us too, but he specifically wanted about tinnitus. So I thought this would be great to have that 3-way call to talk to Cindy. So thanks again, Cindy, for helping out. And so he's going to order the Pro Vitality and the breakfast solution to start, because he got the Super B already, but he also asked, well, how am I going to take it? How much to take? And Cindy told him what she was taking, and how much I told him what I was taking for my vertigo. And then I also told him about, he could freeze it too and make a smoothie out of it, not just, so I mean, it's just ideas, and people don't know ideas how to do it. Like, how does it come in a shake? It comes in pills, it comes in, what format too. So it's good to be a little bit more descriptive when, because people don't just want to know it's just tablets. Oh, I can't swallow tablets. It comes in a powder format and so on. So, he's happy about that. So yeah, that went well.
Anybody else? Any other kind of aha? Yes, Pauline, you can unmute yourself. or
yes.
really,
but he just put me on it. I have a client, he lives in Florida. He's been taking campaign of knee pain, but I introduced him to Neolife. He's taking Samanol and full motion for over 2 years, and the pain in his knee went away. But he continued taking it all the time, so which I encouraged him to do. He did that. Latter part of last year, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And he did ask the doctor if he could still keep taking, he said, yes, keep taking that. When he first spoke to me and told me he had cancer, he sounded like he was gonna die at any time. He sounded so sick. I read an article about cancer and omega-3, salmon oil, and they said that if you've been taking continues for a long period of time, you should be okay with the cancer. And that has happened to him. So I'm glad that that he'll be taking it continuously all the time. And he's doing very good with this pancreatic cancer right now. We thought he would have died, but he's doing okay so far, so good. Yeah, so that the important thing is to keep taking it all the time. Yes, very good.
And keeping on your clients. I mean, we can't claim to cure anything, but definitely you shared an article that was independent to Neolife. And there's nothing wrong with sharing information just to keep
Right.
people consistent, because you're right. You do find that people, in order for them to be consistent, how long does it take to create a habit? Months, right? For them to
Yes.
create the habit of taking something consistently every single
Exactly. That's
Right.
right. He did. Yes.
It's really important to keep on and
Taking
to
it.
keep
Yes.
communicating with your members and your customers. But it's also building that relationship and building that trust, and sometimes even just a quick hello, just checking in, see how you're making out, how you're doing with your family. It doesn't always have to be a phone call about the product. So just remember that. Sometimes if you know there's something going on in their life, or let's say it's their kid's first communion, or let's say on Facebook you saw they had a birthday party, right? You can wish their kids a happy birthday. There's other ways of of them knowing that you're thinking of them. And now with social media, it's a lot easier to do that. Okay, to let them know that you're thinking of them other ways than just Neolife. Okay. Any other message that you got from Lawrence? Yes, Heather.
Well, I find it hard to, let me see. I've had many, all right, so I've had many people who stop their order after 1-2 months. They don't even get to the 90 days. And I find it really hard for myself. This is a personal thing that I find it hard to make those calls and not feel like I'm pleading. Like I don't want to plead with them. I don't want to pressure them. I don't want to plead with them. And what I think it comes down to is at the very, very beginning, going back to how they said yes in the first place and why they said yes. You don't really know why they said yes. Sometimes they just do it to appease me. I mean, they're very nice. And so they say, okay, I'll start. And so I think for me, the lesson here is that I have to lay more groundwork. And we've been actually trained in how to present the Neolife story in a way that you're asking more questions and they themselves are talking themselves into it. They talk themselves into what they want. They actually declare what they want a little bit better. They actually say, this is what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, well, this makes a lot of sense. I think that would be a good thing for me to do, right? So you want them to talk themselves into it. And I think this is a skill I need to develop more. Because if they've talked themselves into it, doesn't matter that you've given them the presentation and they've already seen that, they have a 90-day, and I can remind them they have a 90-day guarantee. Why not use the 90 days, right? They're not willing to go that distance. And I think it's because their heart wasn't in the first place. Even if I try to have that conversation with them, well, what did you see in it for yourself? What are you hoping to get out of it? It takes a few months, like 6 to 12 months for some things to really make a difference for you. How long have you, been living this life and getting to the situation you're in now? So, we can't expect instant transformations in a month or two. Sure, most of us feel a difference in energy in a month or two, but some people are not in touch with that, and it's not going to make the impact. So laying the groundwork up front, I think, is the lesson that I'm getting out of this.
Yes. And I think you hit it on the nail, Heather, because you're right. We get really excited when we meet someone, we do a one-on-one, and we just want to close and get them to sign up and get them on Neoship and sell them that breakfast solution. But I think you're right. You want them excited to say, no, I really want to do this. I really need this. I value this. I can see how this is going to help me. I'm going to give you an example. I just did a three-way call with Serena and a mom and her daughter. And Serena said to me, you know, let's not just do a presentation and say, okay, we'll send you some information and then we'll get you started when you're ready. That wasn't, she said, let's give them the information and hope that they're ready to get started tonight. I said, absolutely, but let them be the one that say, yes, I want to do this. So when I did the presentation tonight, it was just a chat, video chat, didn't even have slides up. And we talked about the challenges that her daughter was having, and I related them to my challenges with hormones and PMS and depression and that whole thing. And then when I shared the nutrients, the daughter kept looking at the mom, and you can tell she was saying, oh no, I can understand, I need this. No, mom. And the mom was saying, yeah, this makes sense. And then when I asked them, I said, listen, I said, how do you feel about all this? Is this something that you feel you're ready to get started now? And they're like, absolutely. And I think it's because you're right, Heather, we asked enough questions and we shared, and I let them talk quite a bit about their journey. And so you're right, rather than just getting excited when you have somebody that's sort of interested in getting the sign up without having that, almost like, I don't know what the word is, but they have to be excited and passionate about the decision that they're making to get started. Is that kind of the message?
Yeah, yeah, it is, you know, because I think a few of the people that are, you know, they believe me, they trust me. I mean, I still see them at pickleball and all of that, but they didn't have the commitment and the belief that this was going to make a difference for them. And so, you know, again, I shy away. I know that I don't want to plead, and I don't think I'm a pleading person. I don't think I come across that way, but inside, that's what I'm feeling. So, yeah, you know that I've got the commitment and I've got the conviction and all of that, and that's what comes through. They buy that, because they know that I am so passionate and believe in this so much, so they buy that belief. They say, oh yeah, well, if you're that way about it, then I better get some, right? But they haven't really committed that it's going to make a difference for them. They haven't really asked for it, right? And said, this is what I'm expecting, this is what I want to get out of it. And you know, if they're expecting to have better joints in a month, I'll say, well, that's not going to happen. You know, it might give you some relief, but you can't expect that. You know, you can take 6 to 12 months, but believe me, this product will work in your body. We have the proof of that, right? So.
And Serena just said, and they do come back, because I think Serena was gone for about 5 years and then she came back. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we had Rachel and Shelley. Shelley, you can go first since you're muted, and then I think Rachel had your hand up too.
Well, I was just going to say that I think it's definitely important to do the follow-ups and to follow along. And I've just found for myself, if I can try to give some different options for them. But I remember Ashley giving me, you know, a comment of saying, you know what, when you are ready, just know that I will be here for you, to support you and to give you some suggestions when you are ready. So just to kind of leave on that positive note. And just as soon as Serena popped that up, I went, yes, I've had people come back 10 years later, you know, where they went, oh, I'm so wished that I would have started when you first talked about it and started me. So yeah, so even if they do decide to stop, still connect with them every now and then with something, and still be active in doing and what you're doing, because they're still watching. They're waiting for you to kind of stop it, because it must be a fad. But when you're still there year after year after year, they do come back.
Excellent. Thank you, Shelley. Rachel, you had something to.
I didn't actually have my hand up. I was just clapping for in agreement of what Heather had said, but I will piggyback on what was already kind of said in terms of the laying the foundation. I think, I mean, I'm still very, very new at this, or I consider myself pretty new. So that was something I think I missed in the beginning with a couple of members. And then along, like, I think not just this presentation, we saw it again tonight, but everything that's been shared with the Wisdom Builders team, the importance of that follow-up has just been really helpful for me, and I'm in the process of trying to just find an organized way to do that. Because I just reached out to someone tonight that I realized it's been 2 weeks since I last messaged her, but it feels like yesterday. So I think that having an organized way to do those follow-ups, especially in the beginning, can be really helpful.
And do you have a sheet per client, like with what they're taking? And the last time you talked with them, like on an actual form, like I have a page per person or an Excel or somewhere that you can keep track?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I have I have an Excel sheet for people that I'm in the process of or would like to reach out to. So yeah, I should do that. Yeah, that's a great idea.
And then what I do is, like, someone just messaged me and said they want to talk to me tomorrow, and I used to just write it down, and now I put it right in my phone on the
Right.
calendar. So if you
Yeah.
put follow up with, and if I sign somebody up right away, I put like 3 or 4 days ahead, say touch base with so and so, make sure they got their order okay. I think if you put it in your calendar on your phone, that's also the reminder comes up, or you could open up your calendar. What do I have to do today? Because you're right, you're going to get busier. Everybody, when you start signing up people and developing a team and customers and members, you will forget. So you need to find a system to remind you of the people that you need to follow up with. You can do it by memory in the beginning, but after you have, 20, 30, 40 members in your team, you are going to forget somebody. It's very easy to do. So make sure you have them in a binder. And I just keep them in a binder, and every day I just look through, that's the last time I touched base with her. And I go on my phone, boom, put that number, put the name in my phone and say, call so-and-so today. So really, really important that you have some form of system that you're connecting and touching base.
Can I ask a question? Sorry,
Yes.
quick question. As you were saying, keeping a list of everybody's information. I'm just like, I'm really going through the back office like a lot more now, trying to understand the layout and everything. And I was just thinking, like, I can see when you have all the people like under you, right? So all their names, their addresses, the information is there. But it would be nice to actually, if you can go in your own back office and make notes. Is that possible?
Actually, I think there is a program back there. I don't know if Heather, is that still available to us or no? That was with the TNL app, right?
That's the one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that was the TNL. So it's no, we had something that was getting close to that, but we don't have
Right.
anything right now.
You know
Okay.
what? I'm thinking maybe with the boards app, maybe when we see Alan at the Wisdom Builder retreat, Cindy, maybe, and Shelley, maybe we could talk to Alan and see. There is a program that I know Gabby, Merritt, and Joel, they're using. They do pay a fee for it. It's a follow-up program. It's not expensive, but he says the best investment he's ever made because his team grew so fast. So there are systems out there that you can purchase. So I'll find out. And he said that you can use it free for, I think, 3 months to see if it's a program that you like. So there are systems out there, but I'm not sure if maybe the boards app, maybe
Right.
Alan, there's going to be something in that system. I don't know. So these are the things that, but right now, you know what I mean? You don't have that many people. So just
No.
start the system right now, and eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I just write everything down in my book, but
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. There are other systems out there, but we just have to pay for them and find
Yeah.
out what works best, right?
okay.
Nada, I use my phone in the notes because when I'm out and I want to call someone, I go to the notes. So
Mhm.
that's easy for me for the information.
Yes.
Yeah.
I put all, it's funny you say that because somebody would text me out of the blue after I followed up with them, and I thought, oh, where did I meet that person? And I click on their name, met at such and such show, talked about this, what they look like, what they were wearing. Because you're right. When somebody texts you, even today, I just got a message from someone I met at the event Leonie on Saturday,
Mhm.
Sylvan, and I'm like, Sylvan, who's that? I couldn't remember who it was. And I just clicked on it. He goes, can you call me tomorrow at 11? I said, oh, sure. Right? If I didn't have that note in my notes, I would have no clue who I was calling tomorrow at 11 a.m. So
Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah. By the way, this is recording, eh? Did you guys know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that all the time with the note section, all the time. You know, and then you know what they take, whether the club member, when they join this, that even I keep their ID numbers and then the PIN, because a lot of them they don't know the PIN. Right. So I'll note it down all in the notes. So that'll help them too, right? Because some of them they'll say, oh, I don't know. Okay, here it is.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so yeah, those are
So,
handy.
yeah, no, just find a system, like I said, and I'm hoping that eventually there'll be something that we can all use together. But right now, just make sure you keep notes, and your phone is great, Joan. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And did everybody listen to Stephen's message today? What a powerful training. If you did not listen to it, I was like, oh my gosh, like Shelly, you and I talked about the turtle stuck in peanut butter. Does your business ever feel like you're a turtle stuck in peanut butter? Oh my gosh. I know you laughed at that. And things that you can control and things that you can't control. You know, I really thought about that because
Great.
we talk to so many people and we're so excited, but we can't control what they do, right? We can't control how they feel, whether they say yes, whether they say no, right? We can't control those results. And the things that we can control is what we do, right? What we practice on a daily basis, how we prepare for the day. Do you give your all, right? And I was looking back at my month and everything that I've done as a leader, because it's easy to get in that management mode, right, guys? Like it's easy for me to not to do and just to help you guys. But this last year I've committed to doing. And now that I'm doing what you guys are doing, things are happening. And I'm so excited with that momentum for all of us. These are the things that we can control. And, you know, you have to have that purpose, your dreams to pursue. Those are the things that you can control, but you have to have that focus. You have to have that dream. Um, and, you know, people will not follow people that are not going somewhere. Okay. So you guys know I'm going somewhere. Right. And that's why you're on this journey with me. Right. When Serena said to me, I want to hit 3,000 in April, or sorry, in March, I want to hit 3,000. I'm like, or sorry, in April, what month is it now? No, in March. Sorry. I forget what month they're in. And she was like, I think 9 points away, like a couple of days ago. Right. Like, and I know if she wouldn't have told me that, she would not have driven to aim for that 3,000 PV, right? Even Sean, right? Sean was a director 25 years ago, guys. Okay, she's just coming back to the business recently, and for her to hit 2,000 was a milestone. So these are the things that I get really excited about when I see these little baby steps happening for people, for you guys. So share your goals, share your vision with your upline. Let us know what your goals are for this month, so we can help you get there. And when you start sharing your vision and sharing your goal, it's amazing how much more you will do in the month. You'll go that extra little mile and push yourself a little bit more, and you'll work on yourself more. That's where the personal growth, right? You need to grow. You need to become better uh, at networking, at talking, at communicating, at following up. All of these skills will improve, but you have to be willing to do the work, right? To get that improvement, right? If people don't come on these calls, or if they don't listen to the recording and they don't do these things, how are they going to grow? How? It's not going to happen. Okay. What else is there? Anything else that stood out with you at Stephen's message today? Who listened to it again? I listened to it a couple of times.
Can I just add something that you just said, Nada, and then you said you know, control what you can control, and those that you can't, you just let go, which is in a way, because I'm talking from the perspective of a customer. I mean, last couple of weeks, I met this young man. He was depressed. He had all the depression, he had everything, suicidal, everything. And his friend was, had died, and he was in such a bad state. And I mentioned that to you. And then there was another lady, and they were all related because they're friends. And as much as you wanted, even Sean wanted to help him and texted him and talked to him and tried to call him. You want that for them, but they have to want it as much, because I mean, I want to say, like, take this thing and shove it down your throat and eat it. You'll feel better. But you know what? Well, yeah, because I won't feel like doing that, because we know. But if they don't want it, if they don't want that, you can't force them, but you can nurture, you can help them understand. You still keep it, in tabs with them, and not come from a point of, because then they can think, oh, she just wants to do this because she wants to sell me stuff. So you have to be careful. I know I have to be careful, because my enthusiasm to make you want to feel better sometimes goes beyond. But I think the important question was, and I've in the last couple of weeks referred, is, what do you want to do to improve your life? How would it change? How would you feel if you did this? You have to want it, right? And we can only walk that journey with them and be a friend, because sure as heck, I want to shove those things down his throat, but he won't. So, but yeah, we all know that, because we know. So I think from that point of view, and you can lose a customer, potential customer, or a friend. So you got to watch that line. And I know I have to. I thought I had to say that. So you can't control what people want or don't.
Or what they're willing to do, right?
Exactly.
We're there to share information, let them know we care.
Exactly.
Right? Give them the information, and they have to be willing to take that step.
Exactly.
Put it into their bodies, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Anybody else? Stephen's message. Who did not listen to Stephen's training?
I didn't have a chance this morning. I didn't have a chance.
Listen to it. He talks about 7
Yes.
things that we got. It was amazing. Every little tip that he shared today was like bang on.
It was yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Sorry, leadership. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you confused me a bit, because you did say today, and I thought, sure, that was a leadership
I'm
call.
sorry.
I didn't remember the bit about the peanut butter, so then I thought, no, it's a different talk altogether.
Yeah.
I guess what I wanted to say is, because I feel like every time I go on one of these trainings, I think, how do I not know this? How do I not know this? Well, I think that, I mean, I've been using the products for a lot of years, but I have only been working the business for a few years. And I still have a lot to learn. And I recognize that I cannot assume that when someone says, yes, they want to sign up. I hope you can't, that's my timer in the running in the background, so I hope it's not too noisy. I always, because I have taken the product since day one, every day of my life. And I hear you saying that all the time, Nana. I mean, sure, there's going to be the odd day when I take it late, or the day that I think, oh, I didn't take my dinner time vitamins. I can't be forgetting those. So I'm conscious of that when I forget them for one day. But I'm finding that so many people, they don't take it with them when they go out of town on a trip or a vacation. They don't take and I think we need to talk about things like that. So that's one thing that's really bothering me, because then they do stockpile. But I loved what Lawrence was giving me, all kinds of ideas that I wrote down. So I think that we need to say things like, it's good that you have some extra. Things could be delayed, because that has happened, not very often, but occasionally it has happened because of bad weather or changes at, well, I guess when COVID started, there was the warehouse was not as efficient as it became. I thought of a few more lines that you may want to share it with family. If you take it with you when you go to visit your family, they might want to try a shake. So it's good that you have extra. You may want to give it to guests who come to your house because you're having the shake for breakfast, and you can say, hey, try this. We'll have some eggs too, but try this protein. You don't have to drink the whole thing. I'll give you half a glass or whatever. Or to tell them that occasionally you can use it as a snack. So I just thought I need to be saying things like that and really, and making the protein balls. I mean, who doesn't delight in the protein balls that Nat has introduced us to? So yes, I mean, I made them myself, so you gotta do that. Or adding it to your yogurt, so your yogurt has more protein in it. Doesn't mean you have to, make it. I made the mistake of putting 2 scoops into my yogurt, and I thought, well, this is just the most dreadful tasting glue that I'm eating. But no, you don't have to put that much in, but you could put some in. And yeah, check on people. It's like big in my head. I gotta be checking on them, because I have to say that when people have dropped off my team, I've had this attitude of, oh, that's too bad. I guess they changed their mind. Wrong. You actually got to talk to them. I noticed you didn't order this month. Do you want to talk about it? They're not going to call you and tell you. Nobody ever tells you they're dropping off your team. They just drop off. And if you don't notice it right away, sometimes I don't notice these things till I'm getting ready for month end. And I think, who didn't buy their stuff this month? I have relatives, people that I see frequently in my life, my aunt, whom I'm always talking about, my aunt and my cousins. And they were hoarders. My aunt even said to me that, she found this cupboard full of, there was about 6 pouches in it. And I said, oh, you haven't been taking your protein. She said, no, I think that Neolife sent me some extra stuff. I had to laugh at that. I said, no, Neolife doesn't send you extra stuff. You really have to order it. You might get it free if it's in the free product, but they're not going to just send it to you vicariously. Oh, I think we'll send Aunt Lily this month because she's been so sweet. Anyway,
the message I got there was, when somebody does drop off, call and find out how they're doing.
absolutely.
Right? Just find out. Start a conversation, and don't make them feel guilty. Just say, hey, I just want to know, was everything okay? I noticed you had stopped your Neo ship. I just want to make sure that, if you had any questions or concerns or whatever, and just have that conversation and see what.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say all the stuff I've been doing wrong out loud, so other people who are new here could just hear you. We're not all perfect. We're all on a learning curve.
I think we learned a lot tonight. I really recommend going back. Listen to Lauren's message again if it helped you, or go back and listen to the leadership call from Monday. And Stephen had a very powerful message as well. So I know some of you are coming on at 8 o'clock, so look forward to seeing you in a few minutes. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Have a great night.
Bye.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Good night. See you soon.